Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. We have a strange one today. Looks like the Superman box office called and they want their $8 million that they didn't get.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, they didn't get it, and it was officially changed. It's going to be interesting to see how this is expressed going forward by not just the studio, but other outlets who claim this thing such a success. $8 million is not insignificant if you compare it to what they actually claim to have made before, and it does hit them in the place they don't need it, the wallet, trying to show a path forward for DC. Let's get into the story. Here we go. So the Superman box office was lowered by millions. And you know what? That's absolutely true. The film, which Matt McGloin is going to comment on here in his Cosmic Book News article, was, to me, quite the disappointment. Many other people enjoyed it, but let's read the story. Amazon's Box Office Mojo website has updated James Gunn's Superman box office totals again, and the most of the added money now is gone. After briefly showing a higher worldwide total, which coincidentally came with the sale of the Warner Brothers Discovery to Paramount, the site now lists Superman at $618.7 million worldwide, with the adjustment landing mostly on the international side, so, well, at least they got some of the domestic money to stick. And honestly, they kind of needed that money. They needed that money to reflect the value of the property. The property is now less valuable, earning $8 million less, $4 million of which would have gone to the studios, or just under $4 million, because again, it's the international box office. So with those changes, does it change the deal with Paramount? No, not significantly, but it does change a little bit of the value for what's left of DC. And what's left isn't exactly exciting in the future. If you've recently seen, I did a video about Super Drunk Girl up there, and you might want to check it out and find out just why I think we're going to have trouble in the box office with that one. And so does Warner's, as a matter of fact. Let's get back to the story. So the new totals show the bump removed, and Box Office Mojo currently lists this: domestic, 57.3%, at $354.223 million, and international, 42.7%, at $264.5 million. That gives you a worldwide total of that 618, and that just may not be enough for DC, for James Gunn, or for, more greenlit projects in the future. Who you are. And I think we have to focus on what actually changed, which is what Matt writes here. The prior version got attention, had international sitting at $270 million and worldwide at $624.3. Now the international number has dropped to $264.5, which effectively wipes out roughly $7.6 million to the $8 million increase. And it appeared out of nowhere, while the domestic basically stays the same at $354.2 million. Well, that tells you an awful lot. The international box office is often fudged, and the numbers don't mean a whole lot if those numbers are coming out of China, because they didn't bring that money home. It's just what the film earned, and this is a bigger problem, especially when you're doing so much business with China. So what really changed is that Superman didn't get the $7.6 million bump internationally. It only got like $2 million, maybe. Likewise, domestically, it only got an increase of, $39,000? So it's not doing very well, at least not in the observable metrics that, oftentimes corporations rely on. This just shows DC may be more unreliable than we thought it was, or at least that's what it would show me. And the bigger issue, of course, is the foreign box office. Box office reporting is often messy at the margins, especially overseas. Delayed reporting, currency conversions, and late territory updates can move totals substantially. But 6 months later, that's a little questionable. And I have to tell you, I agree. It's very, very questionable when you look at this. With that bump to appear and then get reported on and then to vanish, you got some real issues here, and the article points that out. The film officially stopped playing in theaters months ago, and it went on its, digital tour and then eventually onto streaming. But the question is, where did the money go? Where did it come from before, and why? Well, we'll keep reading. Even with the numbers back down, the basic picture remains the same. Domestic carried the run, and the overseas never looked like the kind of breakdown DC needs for long-term event movie planning, which I said all along, this isn't an event movie anymore. Superman, the character, is an event character, but he's never been used properly, and certainly not by Gunn.
I wasn't representing anybody except for me and doing good.
In fact, the last time we had somebody use them properly probably goes back to Donner. Although I will give some credit to Zack Snyder, had his world and that character not been so dark and gritty. Again, that was his vision and didn't jive with me, but a lot of people liked it. Not as many people liked what we saw from Gunn. We saw the quirky, weird humor that he puts in the wrong places during the course of what could have been a very serious and heartfelt storyline. That was disappointing. But there's no denying that Superman needed that extra $8 million to show it was somewhat viable. And as I've often argued, that despite the fact that I thought it was an okay film, I thought some critics were a little harder on it than they needed to be. I also thought at the time that it's possible for things to be okay and still not be profitable. And I still argue this film, I don't believe, generated a ton of profit, just like Avatar and many other projects out there at current, not yet finished with their box office run. And that tells you a lot. If you have a studio leaving a film in place beyond its expiration date, oftentimes they're just trying to pad their numbers in the case of something like Zootopia 2, or they're trying to get every last dollar they can to justify continuing with a franchise. I don't think Superman justified its future existence, at least not without a lot of help and maybe some different leadership. But anyway, if your experience varied, let me know that in the comments section below, because I got to tell you, I'm very much not looking forward to the next Superman, and I'm just barely going to try and tolerate Supergirl. Hopefully my expectations are blown, but do you think I'm okay being a little bit more skeptical now since I've seen what Gunn has to offer and been disappointed? Let me know if you agree with that in the comments section below. And let me know if you agree with the thought that perhaps all of this was done artificially to make things look better for DC than what they actually are. I think it was done intentionally. I think people were misled, and I think that there's a cost for that, especially when it comes to the box office. Anyway, as I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Remind you to hit the thumbs up button, and as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. Just probably not watching Superman ever again.